Hello, hello. The moment I've been waiting for. We're on the major arcana. The major arcana. They are some fun ones. They're like this one, the Fool card. You've probably heard of the Fool card. Saluth. I am the Rasta Witch. Here's where we learn the way of the Yan Sui Rasta, which is to say, my kind of Ital. Please subscribe and begin your own kind of Yan Sui witchcraft. All roads lead to Rome. Home. Okay, the Fool card, and we're starting the Major Arcana. The Major Arcana are archetypal concepts, whereas the Minor Arcana were descriptions of the person in question, likely the one the reading is for, or yourself if you're just trying to get a working Kabbalah. And the court cards typically are people in that person's life. Okay, so in the Kabbalah, the Sephirot, also called the Tree of Life, the major arcana each correspond to one of the pathways. Let's look at the chart. So today we will start with the Fool card. See, the Fool card's right there, because it logically is the number 0, so that's why we'll start there. No, the major arcana each are numbered with Roman numerals, starting with 0, the last one being the Universe card, and I think in most decks it's actually called the World card. The World card, the Universe card, and it's number 21. So counting number 0, that's 22. So there's 22 major arcana. Okay, we call going through the major arcana in order, starting with the number 0. We call that the Fool's Journey. Remember doing the minor arcana in order? Remember it was called the Lightning Flash? Well, doing the major arcana in order is called the Fool's Journey, because at number 0, we have just begun the journey. Like when a young child learns newly something big. They think they are already experts even though they just barely learned it, maybe even just yesterday. Fool cards usually show someone walking on the edge of a cliff, but not these cards. It still has the same concepts. See, on the Thoth deck it has a tiger biting his leg, and he doesn't even notice that's the case. And this fool, see, he's like floating up in the sky, but he doesn't even notice. And look, the corresponding Hebrew, each major arcana card also has a corresponding Hebrew character. The corresponding Hebrew character so each major arcana corresponds to one of the pathways in the Sephirot, and each one has a Hebrew character. The Hebrew character for the Fool card is Aleph. And so he's sitting there with the power of Aleph, the beginning of the Hebrew alphabet, and he's floating up in the sky, and he doesn't even notice that's like kind of scary, you know. Sometimes you do that in dreams, right? But the Fool is not to be underestimated. You know, can you float up in the sky? You know, you don't underestimate the Fool. Remember, he is across the abyss at the top of the tree, no less. We might think of when Jesus reminded us of the wisdom of children, that they can confound the wise, and often are able to bring unexpected solutions. Or it might be like beginner's luck. He has a deep knowing that comes from standing outside the conventions of society. He exposes the shallowness of conventional wisdom and the pomposity, whether great or small. He stays just long enough to break old patterns and set up new ones. He reminds us to look at the qualities that got us where we are now, that you have everything you need. He is often accompanied by an animal friend. See, the Aleph, the Hebrew character Aleph means ox. See, and there's an ox down there. let's see, here's the Thoth deck. There's going to be an Aleph here somewhere. There it is. See, Aleph. You know, and looks like he's accompanied. He's got to be accompanied by something. And then in my deck, it's a Lord of the Rings one. We've got Gollum. Of course, Gollum was accompanied by the ring. See the ring down there? So he stays just. Oh, I already said that. So the Fool card supports us when we're beginning something new, when we're taking the first steps. He is not afraid and he is playful. If you need to do something with a simple approach, take the Fool with you, putting your adult training to the side. Remain focused in the moment with faith in the universe, with no great expectation, and accept what unfolds. So let's look closer at the Lord of the Rings when it says, Gollum, by a pool of water, considers the many possibilities open to him. You know, think about Gollum. In this case, Gollum is the friend. He's the friend of Frodo, you know. And he certainly is all of those things, you know. He was the secret wisdom of Frodo, and Frodo was the pinnacle of the whole of everything that was happening, you know. Remember, they were all fighting a war, and when Frodo, the war, they didn't think they were going to win the war, and it wasn't really till Frodo destroyed the ring, and remember, and actually Gollum stole it, and then he fell in with it. And, you know, the fool. It wasn't until then that the war was done. You know, it was the key, most important moment. You know, even though there was a whole bunch of other important things happening. You know, so Gollum, even though he was outside of the conventional thinking, he was outside of everything in the story. He was an outsider by all means. He still was the secret wisdom and the tool that really made a big difference. I like to look at the Thoth deck because if you've listened to my teachings, I'm really big into, you know, I've looked because I'm into like shamanistic type ideas. So I study the Celtic shamans, and I especially like the book, The 21 Lessons of Merlin. That's where I get the idea of, I do everything from like beginner and like the middle guy, and then like the expert or the elder, you know, the green robe, I call it. I have like the green robe diet, the green robe workout, the blue robe diet, the blue robe workout, and the white robe diet, the white robe workout, you know, and there's just the whole thing. I get that idea from the Druids, and according to Aleister Crowley's deck, that's the green robe of the Druids, you know. It's the beginner, the apprentice is the green robe of the Druid, you know. So the Fool is detached innocence, Hakuna Matata, just the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities, you know, freedom to roam. The Fool is not to be underestimated, but then again, the Fool's walking on the edge of a cliff, you know, and doesn't realize the danger.